A new session of the Ontario Legislature getting underway this afternoon with plenty of pomp and ceremony at Queen's Park to mark the occasion. After an outdoor ceremony, the Lieutenant Governor, along with Premier Doug Ford, making their way into Queen's Park for the throne speech. The House returning for the first time since Ford won his third consecutive majority government in February. Queen's Park reporter Sean Jeffers has been watching the ceremony, and Sean, the throne speech is meant to give us a sense of the course this government is charting. So what can Ontarians expect?
Well, Dwight, maybe not a lot of big surprises here in this throne speech. It is, as you say, a high-level roadmap, and it's all about charting a course over the next 4 years. Again, not surprising, Donald Trump, tariffs mentioned frequently, often in a combative way, actually, challenging the United States and the U.S.'s policy when it comes to tariffs and trade, and marking really the change, fundamental change in the relationship between Canada, Ontario, and the United States. So let's hear a clip here from Lieutenant Governor Edith Dumont about the fundamental change in that relationship and how it will impact Ontario.
The last few months, however, have taught us that we can no longer assume the benefits of our economic partnership with the United States. The strength of Ontario's economy and the social programs it funds can no longer depend on a partner that has proven itself to be fundamentally unreliable.
So, Dwight, here's what the government is pitching in direct response to that unreliable relationship now. More reliance from Ontario, more sustainability, self-sufficiency. Internal trade barriers will come down, they say. A greater emphasis on pulling down red tape to get the Ring of Fire, the mineral deposit in the north, built. Greater nation-building projects, that includes more infrastructure, encouraging the federal government to come to the table with more funding to push that forward. So that is all part of the Ford government's plan to directly respond to Donald Trump and that threat of tariffs.
Yeah, and everything you just said, those are related to Trump and the U.S.-Ontario relationship. But what did the speech say about the priorities then, Sean, outside of trade?
Certainly a lot to be said on a number of files there, Dwight, in this speech that nearly lasted an hour in terms of its delivery. So the government is clearly identifying that transit and infrastructure building is a priority here, talking about the build out of the subway system in Toronto, the expansion of the GO network across the GTA, but also really emphasizing that they will continue to build highways. They will build that 413 that they plan to build in the 905. They're talking about the tunnel that they promised to build under the 401. Let's hear another clip here from the Lieutenant Governor specifically on that.
This includes building a new tunnel, expressway, and transitway under Highway 401 to get people, products, and services moving along the busiest highway in all of North America.
So this was a really controversial proposal that the Premier first floated last summer, actually. And experts say it could cost tens of billions of dollars. And he floated it again during the election campaign. And experts have said, look, this is a part of the mandate the Premier was seeking to build this major tunnel. And a feasibility study, we understand, is going to get underway shortly. It may take a number of years. But again, that signal in the throne speech, this is a priority for the government. Dwight.
Before we let you go, Sean, people have been talking about this story today, the reports that Honda is considering moving some production out of Canada. What is Premier Ford's reaction to that news?
Certainly, there's been a lot of talk around Queen's Park about that today, Dwight. The Premier now has been joined by Federal Industry Minister, I should say, Anita Anand, and Honda Canada, refuting those claims, saying that Honda is not changing any of its production here in Canada, and there's no imminent plan in sight to make any immediate shifts. So let's hear from Premier Ford on that earlier today.
Well, we're going to keep Honda here, and I'll do everything I can to protect the people and their jobs. And that's what this throne speech is all about today, is making sure that we protect people's jobs, protect communities and businesses right across the province. We have to streamline processes to make sure we're more competitive around the world, attract new companies here. And that's exactly what our throne speech is and the mandate the people gave me after the election.
So, Dwight, I should add that the Premier also, the speech itself mentioned a lot about retraining workers impacted by the tariffs in the event that takes place. We are already seeing some layoffs, and the speech from the throne specifically saying there will be funding for worker retraining.
A lot happening at Queen's Park today. Thank you, Sean.